It's Friday night, and you know what that means. It's time for Around the Table. I am your vision coach, Alicia, and every Friday night I get excited so that I could come and sit with you around the table. There's no difference tonight. Oh, did you have a good Thanksgiving? I did. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. I hope you ate lots of food, and now you're on the road to recovery. Guess what? I have a guest. As always, I always have an exciting guest. Tonight is no different. And so I want to bring my guest up tonight as she comes and joins us around the table. Come on in, Yvette. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm awesome.
Good. Thank you so much for coming around the table with us tonight. And we're looking forward to sitting down here and chopping it up with you, getting to know you a little bit better, and getting to know your story and your book. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Well, why don't you introduce yourself to the folk that is listening to us tonight?
Okay, my name is Yvette Urquhart, aka Minister Sunshine, aka Hassan May Collins Smith Hickenbottom Brown. I am an author, a poet, a comedian, a minister. I'm married to James Urquhart. I have three beautiful daughters. I love people. I love women's ministry. I worked in insurance for 24 years, and then I helped with my parents for 10 years and went back to work last year when my daughter went to school. And now I work at a nursing home, and it is amazing. I think I bless them. I mean, I think they bless me more than I bless them. I get to have communion with them, teach them Bible study, and all kinds of stuff. I just love people. I absolutely love writing. I could write all day
Wow.
and all night. I love writing.
That's awesome. Well, you sound like you have a whole lot going on. So I'm really excited to speak to you tonight because one of the things with this show is I never read the book prior because I like the
Oh,
element of surprise just the way our audience get it. I like to get it the same way. I like to learn what's going on in the person that I'm speaking to as they learn, and that way we get to know you together. So listen, you are an author. You're definitely a comedian. I know that. Um, and your alias is Hassie May, right?
yes, ma'am.
She, when you let Hassie May out, she is so funny, and I just love when she shows up because what that does is it shows the variety of who you are and your personality and how awesome God have made you. And I love that about you, that you're able to be funny, you're able to be serious, you're able to do ministry, and you're able to be who God has called you to be at the same time. Well, listen, we're going to start by talking about your book tonight. Let's start about talking about your book. And I want you to tell our audience tonight the name of your book.
The name of my book is Embrace It, Don't Erase It.
I found that to be so interesting. Embrace it, don't erase it. So tell us, what is Embrace It, Don't Erase It all about? What is your book all about?
It's all about life and embracing life because we all know that once something happens, we can't go back and change it. There's no giant eraser that allows you to go back and erase. Once you've said something, it's been said. Once you've done something, it's been done. You can scream, you can holler, you can wish, you can regret, but you can't erase it. So you have to learn to embrace it. Say, what is it that I can take from this? What is it that I can glean from this? And you embrace that part, and everything else, you just have to leave it where it is, because I come to realize in life that if God gave us an eraser, we would really mess things up,
Wow.
because deeply rooted in a lot of the pain in my life is also a lot of great things in my life. So if I erase that pain, along with that pain, I would also be erasing some of my beautiful blessings. So it's like let's embrace it, because I believe our life is like a puzzle. Every piece, good, bad, and different, whether it's something God allowed to happen or something that we brought on ourselves, all of it is a part of the puzzle. And to remove any piece, that means a part of us is missing. So all of it is necessary in creating us who we are. So I just believe we just have to learn to just embrace life and then live.
Yes, so often, because we go through so much, a lot of us would like to take an eraser and erase so many things in our lives. But as you're saying, some of those things we need to just embrace and not try to erase, so that we could go through it, learn from it, do
Hmm.
better from it, or recover from those
Yes.
situations. That's awesome. So, how long did it take you to write this particular book? Because you said that you're author, and I know this is not your first book, correct?
It is actually my first book. And I've been writing for years, and I had some friends because I started out with poetry. I love poetry. And so
Okay.
I started off with that, and I just had a bunch of poetry. And one of my friends said, "Let me type it up." And she did, and I didn't do anything with it. And I have journals on top of journals, and I write, and I never did anything. And came across a young lady who was like, "You need to birth a book. She's
Yes.
like, "You have lots of books inside of you. You need to birth it." And so I
And
I
so now
really
you're an
didn't have to do
author.
any work because it was already things that I had. I just put it all
Exactly.
together.
Yes. And now you are an author, and that's great, because when we start to think and we start to write, we never know where it's going to take us or where it's going, because that's what happened to me actually. When I wrote my first book, I just was writing stuff, and then it turned out to be a book. And guess what? When we share these books, it's there to bless others. A lot of
Exactly.
times it's not just for us, but it's to bless others. So I'm just excited tonight that you decided to share with us the book. So listen, let me ask you this. Um where can the book be found?
The book is on Amazon, and so you can
Okay.
purchase it from Amazon.
And how much is it on Amazon?
It is $9.99.
Nine. That's a very good price on Amazon.
Yes.
Listen, we just celebrated Thanksgiving, you all. I know that tonight is a night where everybody's
Excuse me.
keeping off the food that you ate. But if you are on here with us tonight, just go ahead and share it out to a friend so that they can come in and sit around the table with us. I am your vision coach, Alicia, and tonight I am excited because I have two people in one that's here with me tonight. I have the author, Yvette, but I also have the comedian, Hassie May, and you may get to meet her a little bit later if you're good. Listen, I want to just jump into our comment section real quick because I see a few people commenting. Hi, Sonika. How are you tonight? Thank you so much for coming and joining us tonight. If you would share this out, we would be excited, and we want to say thank you for doing that for us. So let's get back to our author tonight with her book. um, she is on her phone, so she's having a little bit of difficulty because she could not get on her computer. But we are going to work this out tonight. So tell me, how many? You said the book is more of a book of poetry, more poetry type than just an actual written book.
Oh, this book? No, I said I have a book. I said I have a lot of poetry, but inside of this book is like, different lessons like embrace the mess. God is the janitor of your soul. So it's something about that. And then I have some poetry also mixed in with it, but it's just
Okay,
different little nuggets. And some people tell me they have read it as like use it as a devotional.
sounds good. Songs like that would really make a good devotional. So, how many chapters are in the book?
In this book, we have it's 29 chapters, but like I said, they're like short chapters. You can read the book probably in just about one setting if you're
Okay.
reading it right through. But if you want to soak up everything that's being said, and and chew on what's being said, it'll take you a little longer.
Okay.
But
Well,
it's
let's look at chapter number 5 and let's see what chapter number 5 says to us tonight. Listen, I know that we all have had we have so much to be grateful, so much to be thankful for. We are in this Thanksgiving season. We just celebrated Thanksgiving, and we just want to make sure that we give God the glory and we give Him thanks for everything that He allows us to have in this season. And so, as we celebrate, her book is telling us to learn to embrace some things, to learn to be able to say thank you for some things and hold on to them and live our lives through them rather than try to erase them out of our lives and get rid of them. And listen, so I think tonight is really very appropriate that we should be with author Yvette tonight with Embrace It, Don't Erase It. So if you are in chapter 5, let's see what chapter 5 title is and just read for us a little bit of what it has to say to us tonight.
it says, embrace your imperfections, that we are perfectly flawed. You may not be perfect, but you sure are precious. You may not feel precious. You may feel as if you have a million things wrong with you. You reflect on so many things about yourself that you are dissatisfied with and wish you could change. You may compare yourself to others, desiring to be like them, to have their skin, their height, their hair, legs, weight, and perhaps their life. You look at others and it appears that they are perfect and have it all together. You may feel insecure because of a disability, a skin disorder, a speech impediment, or other challenges that cause you to think you are imperfect and flawed. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. You are perfect just the way you are.
That is awesome. That is really a book of encouragement, affirmations, everything all in one. I am just so excited that you took the time to allow God to let you write that. See, with authors, a lot of times we think that when we're writing something, that we are writing it for ourselves. But we're
Mm-hmm.
actually writing that book for someone else to be able to be, uplifted by
Yes.
what we write. And this book sounds like it's a really uplifting book. Let me ask you this other question. um Someone that gets this book and they read from chapter 1 to chapter 29, by the time that they're finished with the book, what is it that you would like them to be able to really grasp from your book? What is the story you're trying to tell? What is it that you really want them to know? I know you said to embrace it, but when I read this book, what is it that you expect me to feel at the end of reading your book?
I don't want you to compare yourself to somebody else and, like I said, and look like they all have it together and you're less than because maybe you're a recovering drug addict, or maybe you were born on a certain side of the tracks, or maybe someone told you that you would never be this or that. I want you to see that, you know, God takes every piece of us, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, the disabilities, and all, and He loves it and He wants us to embrace it because He made us, and He
Yes.
made us just the way He wanted, us to be. And we don't all need to look alike. We don't all need to have, to be able to do the same things alike, but being comfortable in your own skin and being who you are, because no people can beat you at a lot of things, but nobody can beat you doing you. You are the
Mhm.
expert at being you. Nobody can do you like you do it. And I spent so much of my younger years wanting to be like the cheerleaders, wanting to be, like other people. And I remember a guy coming to me and said, "Look, all that is fine, but when a man is looking for a wife, he said they're gonna want the kind of woman that you are." And that taught me, look, I don't have to be like them. What they do, that's them. But be who you are. Spend time embracing yourself. And sometimes if you take your eyes off the other person, you can really see how great that you are and the talents and gifts you have when you take the focus off the other people and look at who God created you to be. Then you can embrace all of you.
Right. Especially when it really is in the word where he says to us that we are fearfully and
And wonderful.
wonderfully made, because he made each one of us individuals, number one, so that we can live the best life that he's creating us to do. And then again, we're going to go to the scripture when he says he knew us from the
Right.
time we were in our mother's womb. He knew
Mm-hmm.
what he was creating, what he see. This is the thing. When we realize that God didn't make a mistake in creating any of us, that
Mm-hmm.
no two personalities are alike, no
Yes.
fingerprints are alike, because that is how he ordained it. He wanted Yvette to be Yvette. Listen, nobody could even write this book the way you've written this book, because it's your thought, your mind,
Right.
the mind of Christ that he's given you for this book. And so he even chose to have you write this book, so that it could support others. Embrace. Embrace means to hold on to accept. And when you accept who you are, you don't have
Mm-hmm.
to erase it and try to redo
That's
and
right.
make yourself different. I love it. I love it.
Exactly.
Listen, you are in tune to Around the Table this evening. It's Friday night, and I'm sitting here with my guest tonight. Her name is Yvette, and she has written many poems, but tonight we're discussing her book. I'm going to put her email address on the screen as well so that you could see it. Yvette Embrace Life with Yvette.com. Yvette at Embrace Life with Yvette.com. If you would like to email her, ask her a question, email her, purchase books, please do so. We are always looking for ways for you to contact our guests, stay in contact, and get what you need. I'm going to just flip over for a quick second to our comment section and see who is on here. Thank you so much for joining us. It's saying Facebook user, but it's not saying your name. So, Nika, thank you for staying on here today. Let's see, what did Nika say? God is the janitor of your soul. Yes, God. He cleans us up and he purifies us. He certainly do, so that we can be great for the master's use. He wants to be able to use each and every one of us in our gifts and our talents. So what I'm going to do right now, because this person that I'm sitting here with is so gifted and so talented, why don't you bring our friend Hassie May up and let her tell us a little about this book. Hassie May, come on in and join us tonight and talk to us a little bit about what your friend Yvette has done with this book.
Hey, Sugar, how y'all doing? Thank y'all so much for having me on this evening. God is good. I read this book and I said, embrace it, don't erase it, because it's a whole lot of things I love to erase, like a few wrinkles and a few stretch marks, and things like that. But I'm trying to embrace them, and I like to erase these about 50 pounds I gained. Ever since COVID, I ain't been able to lose it. But I think it's wonderful when you can really be who you are. Because back in the day when I was younger, um, we didn't really do a whole lot of things. We would, um, you know, we just didn't embrace life like we should. And sometimes I know I used to spend a whole lot of times trying to be somebody else, but you got to be who you are. Everybody else is taken. She got a poem in here said, everybody else is taken. Be the real you and not an imitation. You know, be who you are. And I love the book. It's a good book. I use it as a devotional and everything. And uh, yeah, I think y'all should get the book. I know it'll bless your life. It'll bless your life. I'm thinking about writing me a book and some life lessons. I learned to try to teach the young people. How to dress. They wear these dresses look like they got a butt in the front and in the back, and things like this. So I want to write me a book too. Maybe you can have me on your show, when I'm in full character, so they can get really see when they can really see Hassan May, in live and in color for real, for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, Hasime. So, Hasime, how long have you and Yvette been friends?
Oh, we've been friends. We started out as friends in 1993, and then we lost touch for a while. And then in 2011, we got back together and been together ever since.
Wow. Well, I thank you for showing up and coming and joining Yvette and I tonight. We really appreciate you showing up. I know that Yvette will help you write your book if you want to, Hasime. So just make that phone call and let her know that that you want to write a book. Thank you for showing up on our show tonight.
Thank you for having me, Precious.
Amen. Amen. Wow. Yvette, guess who came to visit when you were taking a break? Hassie May came to see me.
Oh, she always trying to steal my thunder.
Oh my gosh, but she actually said some things that made a whole lot of sense. She was talking about when she was growing up and she wasn't sure of who she was, but now she knows who she is and she's listen, she's probably going to be giving you a call because she said she wants to write a book. I think wants to be a lot like you. So
Oh my goodness.
we'll let her ask me. So even back to you, I'm sure she gone about her business doing something else. You know, she's so busy into everything. So let's talk about this. You know, we are all talking about Pink Friday. We're talking about Black Friday. We're talking about Cyber Monday. All of that stuff celebrating Thanksgiving. And you just said something that your book is basically like a devotional type book. And so I want our audience to really, really know that they can go and get your book on Amazon. Can they purchase it directly from you as well?
Yes, they can. They sure can.
Okay.
I'll sign it and everything. They can get it directly from me.
And can they do that by your email address or do you have a website?
They can do it by my email address. I'm working on a
Okay, let
website,
me
but they
put your
can.
email address up again. Listen, this is Black Friday. Cyber Monday is coming. Tomorrow is, I forgot what Saturday do they call it? Let's support Yvette and her book. See, that is her address. Yvette at embrace life with Yvette.com. The book is only $9.99, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
That's it. That's it. So let's get this book in your library and help her to become to sell some product on these special days as we give thanks. As we give thanks. Listen, I have two more questions for you. If you were to tell someone how to write a book, what would you say to them would be the beginning point and what they should do to get started with writing their own book?
Well, the biggest thing I think what took me so long is I was just overthinking it. So when I just sat down and just did it and just start writing and putting the pieces together, because like I said, a lot of us we have it in us or either in a journal, and it's just a matter of just putting, put in order to it, and or just stop overthinking it, because I just thought it was so much more tedious and everything than it was, and it really wasn't, you
Yeah,
know. And so
because
I
once
think
you
we
start writing,
overthink so
yeah,
much, and so that's
yes,
why me don't you procrastinate and you don't
yes,
do it, and you wait and you wait and you wait, and then once you do, you're like, oh man, really?
yes, yes. Once you start doing it and get in the rhythm of doing it, it becomes a flow. Hi, Noreen. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. There we go. Small Business Saturday. I am
Oh,
so
that's right. Yes.
grateful for my audience that keeps me on track and helps me with what I need to know because sometimes I don't know all this stuff, but that's why you have a faithful audience. Embrace life. Embrace life. Embrace life. When you talk about embracing life, okay, is it talking about dealing with everything that comes at you in life, or are you speaking about letting life happens as it happens?
Oh no, I'm talking about, yeah, embracing life. You know, when something happens, and like I said, some things we have control over, some things we don't. But saying, okay, this happened. Like there was a lady that had, cancer, and she was saying, at first she was just spazzing out, oh my God, I have cancer. Then she was like, Lord, just help me to go through it. And as she went through it, when she came out of it and she recovered, her niece had cancer. And she said at that point, she realized that that cancer was not for her. It was for her niece to see her going through that. So when her niece went through it, she could see, God got me. She had my aunt. Because sometimes we go through stuff and we think it's about us, and it's not. It's God using us, you know, as a billboard to show, hey, it's, I got her through it, and so you're gonna make it. You're gonna be all right too. And so
Yes.
I experienced domestic violence, right? And at first, I wouldn't talk about it. I didn't want to deal with it. If I was in a room where they talked about it, I would never say anything. And so finally I did. I embraced it and I said, okay, it happened. I can't erase it. It happened. So what can I do? What can I learn from this? What can I do? So I started volunteering and doing group at a domestic violence shelter. And as I was leading group one day, one of the ladies like, well, oh, what do you know anyway? You just come in here to talk to us. You don't know anything about it. And I said, oh, but I do. I went through it. And as I began to talk, you could see her wall come down. It was like, oh my goodness. So now I have somebody that can relate. So my thing is not saying, woe is me. At first, sometimes we go through things and that might be that initial shock or that initial spazzing out. But then we have to get ourselves together and say, okay, this has happened. So Lord, what can I do? How can I use this? What can I learn from this? What good part can I take out of it? And in the
Yes.
middle of it, I got my oldest daughter. And so I don't want to erase it because I
You want
love her.
to embrace it.
Yes. Yeah.
Amen.
So that's
Amen.
my thing is you
See,
gotta, there's so much in the bad, there's so much good if you look for it that you can
yes.
take and use. If nothing else, in some of the worst seasons I've gained strength and wisdom and knowledge and tools that I can use to help
Yes.
someone else, to help my children. So I don't believe God wastes anything.
No, he doesn't. And a lot of it, is endurance. If we think about the woman with the issue of blood in the Bible, for 12 long years,
Yes.
she went through the same thing over and over. It tells us that she went to doctors after doctors. She spent all of her money
Mm-hmm.
trying to get well. But it was not until she settled herself and came to herself and said, listen, I know a man, I see a man. If I can only just touch
Touch.
the hem of his garment, that is faith. If I can only touch the hem of his garment, I believe that my entire life can be changed. She didn't know for sure what would happen, but her
Mm-mm.
faith was that thing that said, go do it, take the risk, take the chance. And sometimes when we go through something for such a long period of time, we want to give up. We don't
Mm-hmm.
understand that if we just go for that, just that extra mile, that we will see a big shift, we'll see a big change, and then we can embrace that thing that really thought that it was going to take us out, that thing that thought it was going to just stop us from breathing
Yes.
sometimes,
Yes.
because the minute people hear the word cancer, they equate it with death.
Mm-hmm.
They don't think, okay, most people don't have the faith to say, okay, so I have this. So now, God, what?
Mm-hmm.
Let me seek you. Let me come to myself. After I've gone through all of that, let me come to myself and see what you're going to say about this. But what you did was took the situation and turned it around
Mm-hmm.
to use
Yes.
it for somebody else to be blessed. And that is what it's really all about. I just love the God that we serve and the things that he shows us. Listen, I see Hassie May trying to come back up in here. Hassie May, hey, how you doing? I want to ask you a question, Hassie May. Why do you like to make people laugh?
Oh, honey, laughter is medicine, and people need to laugh because sometimes I see folks, and church folk, walking around looking like they've been sucking on sour lemons or something, and I tell them it ain't that serious, and I remember when I first started, people say, "Well, laughter don't belong in the church." I said, "The Bible say laughter doeth good like a medicine." And I know that sometimes God must be sitting on his throne laughing at us. You know how it is when we try to figure things out on our own. And he be saying, "I'm God, I'm right here, I can work it out for you." And we be
Mm,
trying to figure it out and work it out, and we make a big old mess. He probably be sitting on the throne laughing at us. And people need to laugh and make it feel so good, you know, and make it feel, and laughter is healthy. If you research, laughter is healthy for you. It's,
yes.
it's very it's very healthy with relieving stress and things like that. And so much going on in the world that it's nice to be able just to let your hair down and laugh sometimes. Shoot, sometimes I have to laugh at myself.
Hassie May. Hassie May, so what do you do during the day? Do you see Yvette during the day? Or do you all work together? What do you do during the day?
Well, sometimes I go with her to work. She work at the nursing home, and them folks they just love it when I come up there. So
With
I sit
her.
around and hang out with them and stuff, and they just love it. Or sometimes she had me at home cooking, so then I'll be ready when she get home and stuff. And but I've been chilling, I've been waiting on bow legs. Ruth. God gave Ruth a bow leg, so I'm waiting on mine, honey child.
You gonna get a bullet. Listen, Hasime, you are too much for me. I love you, but let Yvette come on back here so we can wrap this up. Yvette, come on here. Yvette, guess what? Hasime showed up again. I had to tell her go sit down because she's gonna have me cracking up. So Yvette, listen, I want to just look at our audience and see what they are doing. Yes, yes, yes. If you go for that extra mile, God will give you what you need. Listen, you are sitting around the table with me. I am Alicia, who is your vision coach. This is a place for authors, coaches, speakers, women entrepreneurs, and small business owners. And we want to invite you every Friday night to come on in and sit with us with one of our special guests. Tonight, my guest is a friend of mine, and her name is Yvonne, but she also have a secret friend who keep barging in on our conversation tonight, whose name is Hassie May. But I needed Hassie May tonight because I needed her to make me laugh. But I'm going to finish up with Yvette. Just hope that Hassie May don't push her way back up in here before we finish. So Yvette, do you have a copy of your book with you? Could you hold it up so we can actually see what it looks like if you do? There you go. There you go. That is a beautiful, beautiful cover. Embrace it. Don't erase it.
Erase
Can
it.
we see the
Yep.
back? Can we see the back as well? That is that your bio on the back or just some information
It's
about?
it's telling you about the book.
Yes. Okay. I love the color of the book. It's very inviting, very intriguing. Listen, everyone, we want to support our authors, our guests that comes on this show. And so tonight, as we continue to celebrate Black Friday, here is Yvette's email address running across the screen. You may order her book from her through her email address and receive a signed copy. The book is only $9.99. So as we celebrate Pink Friday, Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, use her address, help her to sell her book and get it. It will make a great stocking stuffer, a great gift for someone else. She read one of the chapters and it was absolutely delightful. So I know that if you get the book and you share it with someone else, they will say thank you. So listen, is there anything that you would like to say to the audience before we close out tonight? Is there anything special that's on your heart or on your mind you'd like to share?
I just want to encourage you, um, to embrace life, because life is so short. And we all have our different struggles, we have our trials and things that we're going to go through, because the Bible says that a man is born of a woman and a few days are full of trouble. So we know we're going to have things that we're going to have to go through. And some of them are devastating, some of them are awful things. I met a young woman um, a couple months ago where her boyfriend in front of her killed her parents in front of her and left her for dead. But she survived. And I'm going to tell you, I think I probably would have lost my mind. But she has embraced life, and she said her faith has kept her, and that she doesn't have nightmares. She thought she would have nightmares, but I know it's the God in her that has kept her, through it all. So I know we go through different traumas and different things, but let's try to focus on the things that we can learn from it, that we can glean from it, and realize that it didn't come to kill us, because if it came to kill us, we would be dead. So it didn't
Yeah.
come to kill us. I think it came to build us, to give us strength that we might need for another season, or to help someone along the way. So, embracing is not saying, oh, I'm ignoring that that it happened. No, it's saying, I realize that it happened, and I'm going to face it, because what I realized is that if we don't deal with it, you have to live with it. And that's one of the worst things that they used to say: what happens in the house stays in the house. And
Yes.
that's why we have so many women that still have that broken little girl inside of them, because we don't deal with things. I think if you admit it and face it and able to embrace it, then we can heal and move on, and we can take those things that we can learn from it and learn, and the other things we can leave behind, like Paul says, forgetting those things which are behind, holding on to the things that we can use, and the other thing, like to say, taking the meat off and leaving the bones. And so,
Exactly.
so we want to be able to embrace it so that we can move forward and live. Because I meet so many women and so many people that are still um, dealing with things that happened so many years ago. And, because people say, you know, just sweep it up under the rug. What goes on in the house stays in the house. And they never face it. And so years later, you're wondering why people are going through things and why they act in a certain way and this and that. Is because we haven't learned to embrace it. We haven't faced it, admitted it, faced it, so we can embrace it, so we can live and move on. So,
Yes.
please embrace it, so you can live. So you can live. Life is too short to live and be stuck in the past, to be stuck in something that happened, when God wants us to be set free. And
Yes, he
so,
does.
He
Yes,
wants
he
to help
does.
us to live,
Yeah.
to live through it.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you what, I really appreciate that, because as we enter into this season, this Christmas season, there's so much going on in the minds of people. There are people who are walking around depressed. There are people who don't have
Yes.
family. There are people who are homeless. And so, with that in mind, we are to be really prayerful with who we encounter,
Mm-hmm.
because what you just shared, that was a very devastating, period, I'm sure, in her life. And
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, she will be able to recover from it. Well, Yvette, I want to say thank you so much for coming on here tonight and sharing with us your book, Embrace It, Don't Erase It. And when you see Hattie May, thank her for coming in and spending a little time with us as well. I am always on Friday night looking forward to see what's going to happen, because all I do is come on, learn about you, talk and share your story and share your book, your project, your business. Tonight, it happens to be your book. So once again, before we leave, make sure that you can go on Amazon and purchase the book,
That's
or
right.
you can also get the book directly from her. It's only $9.99. So get it for yourself or a stocking stuffer. Yvette, thank you again so very much for coming on and being a part of us tonight. It is always my pleasure when I can come and sit before you and have someone like you. I thought I saw Hattie Macy, but it wasn't her. So good night. Thank you so much for showing up. You be great. And one of these days, come on back and share some of those poems that you have with us.
Thank you. We will be glad to do that. Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. Thank you so much, and God bless you, and
Thank
good
you.
night.
God bless you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.